I don't cheese for the cam, nigga. If you smile on the gram, they caught me slipping. I'm that nigga. Right? Fame for the young, just cut the check. Let me rap, nigga. Rap, nigga. Gravitas, now I'm a traveling smack dealer. Get all Jenny Lamb butcher. This is like the confessional of the lyrical.
Yeah, y'all know what it is, man. Welcome to the party, man. Side Barz podcast brought to you by Pantha Politix Podcast Network. Nothing but a dope, man. You already know me, Seven Da Pantha, aka the Carolina Hurricane, ridiculous slang, aka your baby mama's favorite rapper, aka Pod Strickland, if you're getting the point. And of course, you already know I don't bring you nothing but the real, man. Bring you nothing but the real, and I always bring you some Carolina classic shit in the process. Oh, and right now, bonafide. Y'all know how much I respect work ethic, joined with talent. Being talented don't mean nothing if you ain't willing to work hard. This brother goes hard in the paint. You can call him the Fat Boy. You can call him I'm the Fat Boy. You can call him I'm the fatboy.com as long as you call him Mr. before that. Brother, how you doing, man?
It's good, man. I'm glad we can finally link up. You know, we known each other for a minute. We go kind of way back, you know, with the history and everything. So it's good we can finally link up and actually, you know, chat it up a little bit.
No doubt, absolutely. So for those, like, we got a lot of listeners from the Northwest, of course, obviously, but for those people who are unaware, just real quick, like where you from and how did you get into hip hop, especially coming from a place that at the time wasn't known for hip hop?
Yeah. So again, I'm the Fat Boy, Fat for short. Yeah, it's okay if you call me that. I'm originally from Greensboro, North Carolina, born and raised. I'm definitely a Carolina boy all the way through and through. The way I got into hip hop, it was honestly the way a lot of artists get into hip hop. It's therapy, it's expression. You know what I mean? It's just the pen and the pad become a way for you to talk and get stuff off your chest when you might not be able to open up and talk to the people around you. And so that's kind of the way I got started. Just writing rhymes. You know what I mean? A lot of them early on weren't good, but it was a chance for me to talk. To get stuff out, you know.
Yo, you. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you said that because it's a question I was going to ask later, but it's actually a good place to interject it right here. At what point, like, I know that there's I think we all go through this as MCs when we first start rapping. You know, your first verses are always kind of like copying something that you already heard, and kind of trying to find your own words within that. What was the moment? At what point was it that you wrote something and you read it back and you was like, "Oh shit, I think I got something"?
Ooh, that's a good question. Nobody ever asked me nothing like that. Ooh. Because I'm thinking back to some of them earlier Jones.
Man, yeah, because
like I'm probably my own worst critic. So I'll be the first one to be like, no, that one was oof. No, that one was rough. No, that one. Maybe the one where I felt like I was doing something. I think about it now, and it's still like, ooh. But I felt like I was doing something now. It's probably the joint called Hostage Situation. And it was the first joint I have recorded, like, in a studio. And it was still, like, one of the homies from school. You know, his parents had a computer. And this was, like, early on when everybody started getting a microphone in the attic and all that shit. And that was his setup, but that was my first time even being at a microphone in the attic. You know what I mean? Before that, I did like some cassette deck, you know, hit and record and play type stuff, but nothing where I felt like I would really like check one, you know. So even though the song, now that I think about it, wasn't that great, the experience of putting it together and recording it and going in the studio for the first time and with some of my other homies from high school, and we had a little click and everything, like, these are very formative experiences. So it would probably be that Hostage Situation, probably be the one where I felt like, yeah, I'm doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense too. So it's dope to me too, though, because I know being that you're from Greensboro, like one of the things that I tell people all the time, and North Carolina's history as far as hip hop is really deep. You know what I'm saying? And it's very layered. So like, I guess not just like the mainstream, but like especially locally. Like, I mean, you could kind of go both directions. But like, who were some of the biggest influences as far as you developing your style?
Oh, for me locally, it's easy. Coming up in Greensboro, I used to see like Dana Lucci, Solinsky, the whole Ninth Floor camp. I used to see them out in the streets. I used to see them at like this when it's still record stores and CD stores. Used to see them like they were probably some of the first and maybe only like local artists and indie artists that I seen in the record stores. Like I'm in there looking through, I don't know, looking at Lil Wayne CDs and looking at Green Day CDs or whatever case may be, and you can see their stuff in the stores too. And to me, as somebody that was just, I was still young, kicking rhymes. I wasn't really serious about it, but it was just cool that like, yo, it's niggas that's like around the way, and I ain't know them personally, so it just felt more real to me than like the celebrity shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was big into Cash Money, so like, yeah, Cash Money and them is in the stores, but like, Dana Lucci, Brandon D was another one.
Oh yeah,
Brandon D. This is when he was riding around with the rap SUV, had his logo and everything on it. To me,
man, Brandon was a Brandon monster.
Yeah, he was. To me, stuff like that was like way more impactful because like you could see it. You know what I mean? Like I could see Nas and I could see the Rough Riders, but like you could see Brandon D and them when they show up at an event somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like there was some electricity, some energy behind this shit. So them two people were a lot of my early influence as far as like branding. Oh, Now City. That's one people forget when Ski Beats, Hot Right Now. Yeah, and they was only around like a couple summers on some real. They wasn't even, but to me, in that era of like it wasn't a whole lot of North Carolina popping out, and then you get a whole lot of like this was before everybody and their mama was a rapper. Like a lot of people was rapping, but like you had to be rapping, and for somebody to take you serious, you had to be serious. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't. It didn't matter. This was before streams and all that. You was there. You know what I mean? This was before
like
all
it was I was trying to explain to a kid one day. I was like, man, you don't remember what it was like to hear those battles on the radio when the people would call into the radio to battle. Like you don't know that era like that. Like there's something about that you just can't duplicate that. You can't replicate that. Like you had to beat it.
Rushing to school to get to like Rap City and 106 and Park. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't just get rap. Just turn on the TV, turn on the. You know what I mean? Like you had little areas, little pockets where you really got the real. You know what I mean? Now anybody, like if I step outside right now and just be like, "Yo, who rap?" Somebody gonna pop their head out the window with a little Spotify card, with a little download card or something. You know what I mean? Everybody.
Real shit.
Let me not
real shit.
You know what I mean? Let me be cool. It was just different.
It's real.
It was just different.
Did you I don't know if I'm asking this question right, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So did you ever feel at any point that there was as they like to say, an uphill battle, being that you were from North Carolina, particularly, Greensboro, even though we had people in that area, in the areas that were making noise like local, and we could see, like you said, we could see it up close and personal. Yeah. But like as far as having that person that was that, you know what I'm saying? And so going other places and be like, I'm from Greensboro. Like, how was the reception? And did you ever feel like you had to fight like extra hard to make a point?
It's all an uphill battle. To this motherfucking day, it's all an uphill battle. You understand? In Greensboro, out of Greensboro, with social media, on the streets, it's all an uphill battle. I'll be the first one to say, really, none of this shit works for me, keeping it real. I click post, I get 300 views. You know what I mean? I share a song, I get 200 streams. You know what I mean? But it connect with people. That's really the difference between me and anybody. You know what I mean? I don't get a whole bunch of streams. I don't get a whole bunch of nothing, but I connect with people. I actually come at a human level, same way I'm talking right now. You know what I mean? I ain't flashy. I got on my glasses and my goddamn dad hat. You know what I mean? And I'm having the conversation, and I don't even know what sometimes, but something about the music, something about something I say or the way I say it, it connect with somebody. And next thing you know, they're like, yo, you want to come on the podcast? Yo, you want to do a feature? Yo, they done bought a CD, they done bought a hoodie, they done bought a hat. You know what I mean? So it's like it's working. And don't get me wrong, there's a plan to it. Like there's stuff that I actually like research and try to plug in and make work. But at the same time, you can't make people like some shit. You know what I mean? Like they gotta feel it. And so it's an uphill battle, bro. Every nook and cranny, every like, every view, every stream I get, every podcast interview, every show, it's scraping and clawing to make it happen. But then it happened. And I pick up a couple more people, and they on board, and they checking the email when I shoot it off to them, and they following on social media when I post, and I'll get my little 100 views. But I know out of that 100 views, a solid 30 of them is really real people that I know that's engaged. You know what I mean? So I'm taking what the defense give me. That's the football terms. I'm taking what the defense. I might get 2 people every day. Hey, that's what maybe it ain't for me to get 1 million motherfuckers. Maybe it ain't for me to click post and reach 2 billion people with one post. Maybe that's just not my destiny. But if I can pick up one person, a couple people here, this guy on YouTube, this chick on TikTok, Pantha Politix off goddamn, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
We rocking and we rolling.
So based off something you just said, another question, and honestly, this question wasn't even in my brain to ask, but since you said that, I think I should ask this question. As you've gone through the cycle of everything that's happened in your career, you know what I'm saying? And you already mentioned that already being an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a moment? I know you say your music connects with people, but has there ever been a moment where you were utterly surprised by how tapped in a group of people was with your music that you maybe didn't expect to be? You know what I'm saying?
So I do have one instance that stands out, but I want to start with I'm still genuinely like taken aback when literally anybody is like, bro, this shit is fire. Like, bro, this is my favorite track. Like, bro, when you said this in this song, that shit wows me. You know what I mean? Like when anybody says that, it's like, for real? Like, this little shit I made in my bedroom that I came up with in my brain. I thought there's a lot of the times where I feel like, man, if this don't mean nothing to nobody but me, I'm okay with it. So then when somebody else is like, bro, this thing that means something to you also means something to me, genuinely shocked every single time.
No doubt. Okay.
The biggest time though was I performed at the Bull City Music Awards as 2012. And still to this day, probably the biggest crowd I performed for, and it was like 500, maybe 1,000 people. But we was at the oh man, what theater was it? I forget the name of the theater, and I'm mad about that because I remembered it for years. But it's a prestigious theater downtown Durham, and performed there. And while I'm performing, there were people in the crowd. Like, yeah, some people had came to see me, so I knew they knew the songs. But like, there were some people in the crowd. I didn't know who the hell, who is that? Who is her? Who is she? Him? Them? You know what I mean? And they're singing the song back to me, at least the hook part. You know what I mean? While I'm doing my performance, and it's like probably a smooth 10, 20 people singing the song back to me. You know, in different little sections of the auditorium or whatever. But it's just like for anybody again, I'm genuinely shocked when even one person is like, yo, this touched me. So to have that many people at the same time singing this song back to me, like the lyrics word for word, to this day is fucking mind blowing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like that, like I want anybody that's watching this, that's like, especially in my camp, especially my people, I want them to know like that is meaning something. It's touching. You know what I mean?
Back to it. I feel it. So you said something else too, and I'm glad. And realistically speaking, I will be completely honest about something. In case people, those of y'all, quick sidebar for those of y'all that be watching the podcast on a regular basis and be like, "Oh man, Seth, you do that." Half the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna say. I know the basics of what I want to talk to somebody about, but then the conversation take me everywhere else I want to go.
Oh, boy, yeah,
So something that you did say I think is imperative though, because I know a lot of young artists listen to the podcast. So was it something that was always instilled in you, or did you have to make a determination for yourself at some point in your journey that you have to determine what success is for yourself so that you don't get caught up in the wave of trying to keep up with the Joneses?
It's an evolution.
Yeah.
It's an evolution. I definitely started out like I'm gonna be rich and famous, and I'm gonna have the cars, and I'm gonna have the women, and da 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 da. And then, and even beyond that, I'm the type I put deadlines on it. So I remember being in high school, like, yeah, I'm trying to do all that by the time I'm 18, and then 18 to me, bro. Right? You feel me? You grown now. You know what it is when your 14-year-old come in like, yeah, I'm trying to be rich and famous and balling, and I'm gonna be the next DMX when I'm 18 years old. Hey, I ain't gonna say you can't do it, you know what I mean? But like, more power to you. That's all I'm gonna say. You feel me? But
Saying the likelihood is there.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's a long shot. It's there, but it's a long shot. But
No
for
doubt.
me, 18 came and went. All right, well, by 21 came and went. Well, got to be by 25. 25 came and went. And then came a period where I wasn't doing a lot of creating at all because I was going through, some real hard times, homeless. And I just like creating was at an all-time low. You know what I mean? I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the space. You know what I mean? And I might get a few bars jotted on the napkin at work here and there type stuff, but recording was non-existent. And I don't know, like it was just when I got back to a place of being able to create again and to make things again. I low-key forgot the original point, but when I got back to that place to create, and it kind of just rejuvenated everything. It kind of brought back a lot of the energy up that had dissipated before. So,
But realistically speaking, you kind of answered the question even within that, because I was basically just asking about how were you saying like how before you was like, yo, it ain't about the the likes and all of that other stuff. Like it's a way that I connect with people. Like, so success looks different for you than it looks for somebody who's trying to be the next trying to be the next Kendrick Lamar in the next 2 weeks, even though he just started rapping yesterday. Like,
right. And then not gonna lie, I did fall into the streams and the numbers until not too long ago. Really, until maybe of the past couple years, where I really started looking at it. And especially this year. This year was eye-opening. So there's been times this year where I've been directly envious, being real and transparent. Be directly envious with somebody's numbers, like, yo, damn, I've been doing this for this long and they got this, da da da, and like this is really what it is internally. And then it's revealed to me some kind of way, shape, or form, regardless of how the numbers may have came to be. You know what I mean? And it's usually not what you think it is. You know what I mean? Like,
thanks.
in my brain, I'm feeling like, damn, niggas just grinded it out, built up their followings. You can't be mad. You can't hate on that. But a lot of the time, you find out there was like, bots and hacks and tricks and paid promos and or somebody, maybe a couple videos blew up a couple years ago, but they're not getting the engagement no more, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I don't know, maybe my little 300 followers, 20 some monthly listeners that genuinely listen, that genuinely open my emails, that genuinely do shows, and genuinely buy merch, and genuinely just listen to the music and respond. You know what I mean? Maybe that handful of people is every bit as good as a million motherfuckers that tap like a couple times and scroll, or listen once a month and then forget about you until, you know what I mean? Like,
until the next new song, and then it's like, okay, I'm listening to this. Oh, this is fire today, and then tomorrow, I'm off this, and then,
right.
I think
It's just like that's why I'm coming full circle back to your original question. It was more of an evolution, because you got to go through it and you got to see, like, yo, you're doing a lot better than you think you are, especially these days. Like, it's hard.
Oh, yes.
It's hard to get a motherfucker's attention. Like, let's forget about the money, the fame, the business, getting a motherfucker attention for 2.5 minutes to listen to a song, hell, for 30 seconds in this day and age, to listen to a song. And then they come back and listen to another song, and then they hit you up on your social media, and then they, bro, this touch, Like, if it's one motherfucker doing that, bro, do you know what you had to do to get that one motherfucker to stop scrolling, stop listening to their music that they already had, stop watching what they was watching on YouTube? They could have been watching the kids. They could have been cooking dinner, doing laundry, just got off work, driving home from school, going to the library, jacking off in the bathroom. Like, it's a billion other things you could have been doing besides listening to your song you made in the bedroom. But they did. They followed through. They clicked through on your link. They involved. They engaged. Like, people got to get themselves some slack, bro. No, it ain't a billion motherfuckers. It ain't a billion motherfuckers, but that one motherfucker that's on you could have been doing anything else, bro. Anything else, bro. It's a million movies, songs. You know what I
mean? you could have done any, like, I often find people don't appreciate and I hate to see this because especially I see it a lot from not only younger artists but also even some older artists who may have had some measure of success at some point. And then they come back to the table, and things ain't quite the same no more. But like they feel like they carry themselves in a way that makes them make you feel like they feel like it should be. And it's like, bro, listen, and nobody's taking away from what you accomplished previously. Nobody's taking away from that, but you got to understand what it is now and act accordingly, and live within the truth of what your situation is. So, with that said, there's a thing that I often converse about with people. When it comes to MCing, and when it comes to MCing, I'm very, very, I'm hard on MCs, man. Like Remy will tell you, I'm hard on MCs. Yo, like I don't like nobody. I'd be like, nope, that's trash. Fuck that, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, when the first time I ever heard you, like way back, like, and the one thing that I've always appreciated is that your attention to, hey, yeah, I'm trying to tell a story, or I'm trying to give you this concept, but at the same time, I'm not going to sacrifice the writing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to slack on the writing just to try to give you this thing. How important is it to you, especially as a somewhat elder statesman at this point in the culture, you know what I'm saying, kind of trying to set the tone for the people who are going to carry the torch after we let it go? How important is it to you to keep lyricism at the forefront, you know what I'm saying, as far as developing the music go?
So, like, we came up in a time where the bars mattered. You know what I mean? Like, it made a difference what you were saying and how you were saying. You didn't choose one or the other. Like, and don't get me wrong, you had your 2 Live crews, and you know what I mean, to where like you might not have, but hell, even then they was saying something. You know what I mean? It might have been some goddamn booty shaking club music. You know what I mean? But you knew what they were talking about. You know what I mean? There was no abstract. Like you knew what it was. And that was that time. So that's the time that I came up in. And I think I was watching, I don't even remember which podcast it was, but Nelly was on there. And he was like, I came up in a tough time. He was like, when I dropped, I had to drop up against Eminem, Jay-Z, goddamn, hell, Red and Meth was out at that time. You know what I mean? Like, he had to drop with everybody. Now, me being a, indie artist, I ain't saying I had to drop with them same people, but that was the caliber of MC at that time. Even on the local independent level, you know what I mean? Yes. Like, it was some cats out there, like, it's still some cats, like, that have put me to fucking shame, you know what I mean? Like, lyrically. And that's what you had to go up against, though. Like, even on a regular, everyday, not even celebrity shit. You know what I mean? If I was dropping my mixtape on the street, I'm dropping my mixtape next to Brandon D. You know what I mean? And who else was popping? Josie Moe. And you know what I mean? Like, these niggas, these niggas is eating. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, MOS was out around that time.
Oh, yeah.
Where I first started coming out and shit too. You know what I mean?
My goodness.
These niggas eating.
Man.
So that's the swords that you are with. Like even before I'm dropping or anything, them the swords that I'm witnessing. These are the lyrical bars, you know, on a micro level, just
Oh, yeah.
omitting the national level, just on a regular. You know, I go out to the open mic, and this nigga also comes to the open mic. And matter of fact, thinking about it, and I don't know how deep, I don't know how like deep or how much everybody know or whatever, but like my first performance, I was there, and I remember, I don't know if you know, Ricochet, the chick out of
Yes.
Ricochet.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
my first time meeting Ricochet, and that's who was at my first performance, my very first show, and they had a cipher going, and that motherfuckers like that was at my very first show. Like everybody don't know Ricochet, but I'm glad you do know. You know what I mean? Because she nice.
Oh, yeah.
You feel
Oh,
me?
yes.
And, who else? Yeah, you know, Selinsky.
Of course, yeah. For
Uh,
those of y'all that don't know, Selinsky is a bona fide 336 legend. Don't get it twisted,
you
yo.
feel me? Like, these
Don't
are
get
the
it twisted.
niggas when I'm coming up, when I'm first starting to like get my feet wet in the scene. These are niggas.
No.
Man, you can't slack. You can't come out and be on no ABC 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? You got to have bars, bro. And so even now that the bars still matter, I feel like, but not as much. It still matter to me because that's just how much people cut. That's you know what I mean. I can't. There's been times where I sat down and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just write some little, you know, because it'll sound like that's the shit that motherfuckers like. Da 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 da. Like I told you, I done got lost in the sauce before. Let me write some shit that these niggas will like, and it'll still come out with some little flip in there, some little goddamn, you know, some little extra sauce in there. It ain't like, damn, I'm supposed to be, you know, I'm trying to think of an example. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like Lil Jon some shit on the track.
No doubt.
But it still come out like my Lil Jon shit probably come out like mild ludicrous. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to dumb it down. I'm trying to ease up, but it still got a little, you know what I mean? So then you know if I'm actually trying, it's gonna come out more like Currency or J. Cole or something like that. So I don't know, man.
Man, you can't undo that. Like there's no way for you to do it. For those of y'all that don't know, if y'all don't know about North Carolina and especially in the Piedmont Triad area, with the time period that he's talking about, very, very like listen, some of the same people still killing shit now. Ilpo, OC from like, no, listen to me. It ain't got no easier for real MCs from that area to keep it popping because like some of the same cats that was killing it then still killing it, and there's some new cats killing it now. So it's like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all don't understand the gauntlet that we had to run through out there, man. Salute to all the MCs, man, from the 336 area, man. Salute to everybody out there.
I do want more of us that been around a little longer to kind of reach back to the young cats. Like I know the hurdles.
Yes.
A lot of them don't be trying to hear it, but I know like a lot of us still out there. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard. It's gonna be hard to shine in just your general hip hop space. They're gonna have to get their own little niches because if it's like, yo, it's a hip hop night. All right, so you got homie that just started like last week coming out, and he hyped and excited, but then he get there and like I'm there, and got them Rim Steel there, and got them Beehive there, and got them, you know what I mean? You might not even want to keep like, man, he niggas eating, and I'm they didn't even clap for me like that. Like, so I try to be cool when I know it's some young cats. Like I try to talk to cats and be open. Like I try to support everybody because I know how it is, but I ain't gonna lie, yo. I also came up in a time where you won't just get support. Like all the kumbaya stuff now, that's the other side. All this
that's new shit.
Even if they don't fuck with you, they'll stand front row and clap and you know what I mean? Just because they want the same love back, man. Back then they'll look you in your face. They'll look you in your face, bro. I remember when I first pulled up in Durham and did my first shows in Durham. Durham was the worst. Durham will look you in your mouth like them niggas are staying right there in the front of the stage, arms crossed, not nod, not blink. You like, bro, is y'all gonna do something to me when I get off the stage type shit? Like them niggas do not. If they don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. You gotta earn that shit.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
better
my
believe that.
performance. I ain't gonna lie, Raleigh Durham probably why my performance tight now. Cause them niggas ain't cut you no slack. They do now. I seen the gradual change. When I first got there, it was a brick wall, but after a while, like now, even if niggas don't like you, they'll show that love just so they don't look like a hater. But boy, I remember first, they ain't fuck about this shit.
No. Like I literally seen, like, dog, I told somebody, I was like, yo, dog, I only got booed off stage one time in my whole life. One time in my whole life. And it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. We were supposed to open for Wu-Tang Clan. And they wanted to see Wu-Tang so bad, they did not give two fucks what we was talking. We could have been doing backflips, rapping in reverse and everything. They would not have cared. They was like, boo, Wu-Tang, boo, can these niggas understand?
If you can move the crowd in North Carolina, boy, you got something. I say that.
Yes,
I don't know if it's New York level, but hell, I done moved. I got a better batting average moving crowds in New York, probably not doing North Carolina, even though I perform more, like way more in North Carolina. But North Carolina boys, it's a tough ass to sell, man.
Bro, you gotta.
They're a little more open now. They're a little more open now, but you still got to put on.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you this. Now I know that everybody looks at Spotify and all this other stuff, like, hey, I seen your discography, but I'm like, nah. There's always something that ain't there that came before all of that don't nobody know about. So I know what the streaming services say. What was the very first thing you put out for public consumption, and how did people respond to it?
Oh, the very, very first thing I put out was I had a 7-track album, Semi-Automatic Life. And I had gone to my little local Big Lots, stole me a little pack of CDs and CD cases. This back when niggas still had the baggy jeans, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm a big dude, so I was big. Plus I had baggy jeans, so I could go in, give me a little, like I don't know, 10, 20 pack of CDs or whatever. Drop it down my damn jeans, you know what I mean? Little slim pack of cases. I'm out of myself. I'm keeping it real. This is what I did for the music, though. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Put this shit home, burned them on CDs, right on there with the Sharpie. And I went to the little corner store right up the street from my house. And I tracked off them CDs one by one. Semi-Automatic Life, $5 a pop. 24 first week sales. 24 CDs first week sales.
Hey.
I remember that shit, and I would go up to it. It took me the whole week. I would go up to the store, cause really, I'm gonna keep it real. The real reason it took so long is because I was nervous and shy, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So it was kind of a struggle for me to go up there in the first place. And then I talked to a few people, maybe get a couple sales, maybe not. And then after a little while, my little social battery, my little introvert battery would kick out, and it's time to go ahead and pack it in.
Stop leaving that. Okay.
Thinking back on that shit though, like that's the grind. Like I feel like this is the stuff that Backstory is made of. You know what I mean?
I miss them days, Joe. I miss them days so bad. Oh my god! I
You
was
know,
actually looking through some stuff the other day, and I found a CD from a group I used to be in, and it just took me back. And I was like, man, I remember. You know what I'm saying? I remember us selling this out of the trunk of the car. I remember us running around, you know what I'm saying, trying to sell T-shirts and all this other shit. Like because when nobody else doing it at the time, so it was like we was ahead of the curve. And I was like, yo, man, like I don't think people realize like the history that they were seeing being made in front of their faces at certain points in time. You know what I'm saying?
That's why, a lot of the newer cats be like, man, it's better now though, because back in the day you had to have a record label and da da da. Like, man, y'all won't dare, bro. You could go, hell, I just told you the story and go steal a pack of goddamn CDs, hit the block and make, $100. You know what I mean? $150. Like, how many Spotify streams is that? How many Spotify streams do you have right now? And how much did you get paid for it? Whoever's listening to this, whoever's watching this, let's be really real about it. You know what I mean? You did not need MTV back then. to do something. Like, yeah, if you wanted to be famous, if you wanted to be rich and famous and all that, yeah, you needed the outlets. Like, you wasn't gonna do it without, you know,
Right.
the big boys. But if you wanted to make a living off of that shit, man, the tools was there. Yeah. And it took more work.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem now. Niggas don't want to work because it took more work back then. Yeah, you'll be out in the hot sun for 3 hours pitching CDs or out in the cold for 5 hours talking to random strangers. But man, when a motherfucker come back the next time, yo, you got a new CD, yo, when you'll drop something new, bro. That last shit was hot, bro. Yo, I had a nigga, shout out Lil Rob. I had a nigga from like 2010, probably like 09 or something. This was years ago. He resurfaced back in 2024. And he was like, bro, I remember you was out in front of the corner store in Durham pitching your CD, bro. I still got that motherfucker. Sent me a picture. Still had the case, the cover, the whole little package. You feel me? Like,
Damn.
you're not making that impact with those Spotify streams. I don't care how many streams you got. You're not making that kind of impact with none of them.
90% of the time, people listening to Spotify not even looking at the screen to see
Don't
to
even
identify
know.
what they listening to. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no connection to it. Ain't no real connection to it. So I mean, you actually had a pretty prolific run as far as putting music out. I know it was a point where it was like boom boom, and then it was like a layoff, as you mentioned. But then once you got back in the saddle and started rolling, like you've been rolling. I hate to ask this question. No, I don't. I'm lying like hell. I love to ask this question because it make artists squirm every time I do it. So we all feel like all of our songs are our babies. I get that. But if somebody say, hey, listen, bro, I'm running short on time. I only got 5 minutes. I need one song from you to tell me exactly who you are and exactly what this is about. And if I like that one song, I'm gonna spin the block when I get off of work and I'll listen to everything. But right now, I just need one song. What one song would you tell them?
One song that I would tell them is Requiem of a Dream. It's a recent song, but it's a song that really gives you that. I really broke down and talked about that period I was just telling you about where creativity had gotten low. It starts out, I done had some dark days. I slept on a park bench. I slept at a bus stop in the winter. This ain't content. I can't remember, but that's the first, couple bars right there. So you know how it's going from there. And I feel like that's probably the best one to start with. And I'm glad I did it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just now opening up to my music as far as like putting more of the real into stuff that goes out. Like, I always wrote little stuff that was candy, but I would keep that for myself, like in the vault. Like, this is just the therapy. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to put these songs out to where I'm telling the story for real, to where it's like, bro, it done been ugly sometimes. And I feel like that's a good place to start, where it's like, bro, it's been ugly. So when you go back to check out the rest of them Jones, and you see the Jones where I'm talking about cold beans, hey, and collard greens, or like just know that the real backstory is this. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Yeah. Don't get it confused. I'm trying to tell you exactly what's going on here right now before we get too far gone. Like, I'm trying to let you know what time it is. Oh man, I personally am. I'm the type of person that anytime I listen to music, I listen to it a certain way. I listen to every album 3 times when it comes out. Tell you why. The first time I listen to the album, I'm listening strictly for rapping. I don't care about nothing else happening the first time I listen to the album. I only want to hear you rap. The beat and all that going on, sure, cool, that's fine. I'll bob my head to that, but I don't care right now. I'm not judging the production. I'm judging your rapping. The next time I spin the block, it's production. Now I want to, what kind of beats did you pick and how did you put this sequence of this album together? Boom. Okay, now I've been through that. I'm happy with what I see on both sides of that. Now, let's go back and listen to it one more time, put the scorecard away, and let's just listen. You know what I'm saying? And once I do that, and I'm sure that I can give an honest assessment on the music at that point and say, okay, listen, I've listened to it from every variation I need to hear it. When I listened to Fantasy Star, I was like, okay. It was a quick ride. It wasn't a super long ride. I was in the car the first time I hit play, so I'm like, okay,
That's good. That's good. That's the
it was a quick. Yeah, perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect, especially when it got to like Easy Pass. I was like, see, this is starting to totally make sense at this point.
Yeah.
This is totally starting to make sense now. Going into making that project, what was there this is gonna sound like a crazy question. I feel like I know, but that's just my MC brain talking. I want the people to know. Going into that project, what was the plan? What was the overarching plan? And do you feel like you hit it? Because if it's what I think it was, I think you did, but that's just my opinion. So
I did. I think I did. So the overall plan on some real shit, Return of the Mac, Rico Suave. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was really going for. I was like, I want like a summertime album. Cause all right, keep it real. I wasn't even supposed to be dropping this year. I told myself and everybody listening that I'm not dropping nothing new in 2025. I'ma just do music videos for my existing catalog. But then I met up with Red City. Shout out Red City. That's who produced that whole album. And she had the fucking 90s, early 2000s hip hop vibe beats that like I had kind of been looking for. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, I'm not supposed to be dropping nothing. I'm supposed to be working with what I got because I got plenty of shit already. You know what I mean? So I get this, just jotting to the shit. And I think the first joint was Famous. That I actually came up with that I'm like, man, I don't give a damn about being famous. Like, man, shit, I'm about to drop something, ain't I? So I'm like, but I don't do singles stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna do an EP. I got 4 tracks done, recording them. Whole time I'm writing, some other tracks, just jotting little, here and there. Before I know it, I got a solid like 11 songs, 10, 11 songs. All put together. And I'm like,
oh shoot,
we're gonna do an EP trilogy. So it was originally Phantasy Star 1, Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star 3. I had the third Phantasy Star out. I went through my whole run. So that was through like June, July, August, or something like that. May, June, July, something like that. I went through that whole run, came through the last Phantasy Star. And then got into the whole thing with DistroKid where I didn't pay them. Let's keep it real. I didn't pay them that little fee or whatever. All my music down. So their plan anyway was to go back to CD Baby because they just leave the music up. You pay for it one time and it's up. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna do it like that. Then I ain't gotta worry about it. And it came to Phantasy Star, and I'm like, yo, this is new. I still want to, put it out and let it ride because it ain't been out that long. But I don't want to do the EP thing because then the way I do my EP, so like the way I'm doing it now, Spotify and big streaming, Apple Music, Pandora, all that, they get like the albums. You know what I mean? If I got like a 9, 10, 11, 12 track old project, then I'll put that up there because then they get, album, but they also get multiple songs that'll pop up in the rotation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Spotify ain't really big in my operation. And so then if I'm gonna have EPs, those go to Bandcamp. And I was like, I don't want to drop the 3 EPs on Bandcamp, and they knew because my Bandcamp don't get that much traffic, like get less traffic than Spotify. It's just more potent traffic, I guess you could say. And so I was like, well, if I'm gonna put this on Spotify, I have to put it up as an album per my own policies. So I decided to compress all 3 EPs into one album and drop it like that. And I think I like it better. And I changed the cover and everything, and I think I like it better this way. So yeah, Phantasy Star. That was
that's dope.
Yeah, that's the story of that. It was supposed to be highway music. I wanted something to bop to during the summertime. And I think
you definitely,
got it.
You hit the mark. You hit the mark with that. I was like, yo, it's very rare that I get it right the very first time that I'm in the right place to listen to an album. I remember the first time when I bought Illmatic when it came out. I bought Illmatic, and I made the mistake of trying to listen to it on the bus on the way back to campus, and it's all this stuff going on and all these people moving around, and I'm trying to listen to the music, but I can't really because like I'm trying. I'm in the Winston. I ain't from Winston-Salem, so like this is the new place for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on the bus in Winston-Salem, riding the bus to Haynes Mall, and then back to Winston-Salem State University to go buy Illmatic. and I'm bugged out, so I didn't really enjoy it the first round because I ain't really paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I get back to the dorm room, close the door. I'm in there by myself. I roll up. I'm chief and I got the window open, obviously, because I'm on college campus. And I turned the music on and I didn't leave my room the rest of the day listening to Illmatic. I couldn't leave. You know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of moments that I feel like we have been a part of creating. And I think some of us won't realize it until we're done doing this part of it, and then look back and be like, man, you know what's crazy? Like it's 2032, and this song that I made in 2016, some kid just picked it up and is making a TikTok dance or something with the song I made in 2016. And he has no idea. You know what I'm saying? I live right across the street from this motherfucker. You don't even know who I am. You know what I'm saying? He has no idea who I am. So like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Do you have like a what's the best way to say it? I guess, do you have a what is like your goal? Because not necessarily goal as far as like album sale numbers or anything of that nature, but when you walk away from creating music at the clip that you do now, doing it in the manner that you do, what should be what do you want to be the pervasive consensus understanding of who Fat was, what Fat brought to the table, and what it all was supposed to mean during this whole process?
So like what you said just a second ago really touched on it, but for me it's legacy, and it's a two-part legacy. First, I would like the music to, catch enough fire to where financially it can take care of not just me and my son, but maybe at least like a couple generations worth of like grandkids just off of the music existing in the air. Like even if no CDs are selling, even if the royalties, are substantial enough to where they can live at least a good regular life, a good middle class life. Ain't gotta be rich and famous, as long as they can hold their own just off of my stuff that I created now. You know what I mean? But then also long term, like you were saying, how somebody in the future could be listening to it. I think further than 2032, because I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, Mozart's estate found some music that he had, like, in his vault or in his, notes or whatever, and they put it out. And I want that. You feel me? I want my music to be so impactful, even if it might not be impactful until later. I want it to be so impactful that 500 years from now, motherfuckers find some of my old records and they like, yo, let's put these out. You know what I mean? And it still will garner attention. It'll still be in the news like, yo, Fatboy just dropped some new da-da-da-da-da. And he ain't even, you know what I mean? And it still be, it don't got to be massive, but it just still be impactful. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those are my twofold with the legacy. Now, what I hope people can take from it and really hold on to, even now, but even more so later, is don't give up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, I'm probably not going to be the poster child for DIY, Curtis King. I'm probably not going to be the poster child for getting it out your backyard and Russell. You know what I mean? I'm probably not going to be the poster child for getting it off the internet, Russ. You know what I mean? But if nothing else, I'm a damn good testament of don't give the fuck up, bro. When it's down, when it's up, when it's happy, when it's sad, when you ain't getting no listens, when everybody listening, when you doing podcasts, like just keep fucking rapping, bro. Just keep rapping, bro. Like that's what I hope people, like keep doing you. Somebody gonna feel it. And I don't know who gonna feel it, when, where, why, how, but just keep fucking rapping, bro. If you just started rapping and you believe in it, keep rapping. Don't fucking, I ain't know nobody listening. Do you like it? Do you want to hear it? Do you play it? If you don't play it and you don't hear it, then we understand why don't nobody else listen to it. And you might want to chill. You know what I mean? Like being real with you. But if you believe in it, if you wake up in the morning rapping and go to bed at night rapping and 365 days a year rapping, and niggas done said, bro, maybe you shouldn't rap and you just want to keep rapping, bro, like rap. my nigga, rap. Pay your bills and take care of your kids and fix your car and rap, my nigga. Yeah, I mean, just fucking rap, my nigga.
That's real talk. That's real talk, man. I gotta tell you, man. I actually I got another interview to do here in just a moment. But before we get out of here, I do want to tell you we're about to do a deep dive series on industry versus culture, independent versus mainstream, and try to give these young cats some information that they can utilize in their trying to build their independent platforms and stay away from having to depend on mainstream machines that are already in place. I would love for you to be a part of that conversation. So yeah, be looking forward to me looking for me to look out to you. But hey, bro, we this day, this time, we doing this like it's gonna be a round table type discussion. We were gonna do it in person, but I was like that kind of hamstrings how many people that we can have involved. I was like, because there are people who aren't in Washington who I want to have in this conversation because of how they grind, and you were one of those people. So like, yeah, we need that.
I'm with it, man. I'm definitely with it. I love like sharing the information, bro. You know what I mean? It's because I remember when I first started and I would ask people questions and they hold the answer I always got, bro. Just go hard, bro. Just go hard, bro. Hard. Just go hard. Like what you mean? So like now I like to share with the information when people, you know, when the young cats be like, what I'm supposed to do? I don't know how I'm gonna blow you up. Like I can't get you signed and none of that, but I mean I can get you started. We can get you off the launch.
I can help show you how you can collect your money on your end. Like you know what I'm saying? I could tell you about Sound Exchange and why you need ASCAP or BMI, why you need to be able to do this and why you need to be signed up over here. I can tell you that. It ain't gonna get you no Grammy, but at least it'll get you the money that you earn. So like that's, you know what I mean? It'll get you the money that you earn.
You know what I mean?
Facts, exactly. So man, do me a solid, bro. Please tell the people where they can find you online and how they can tap in with you and support what you're doing.
Yeah, easy. I'm the Fatboy. That's really where you can find me everywhere. I'm thefatboy.com is my website. Facebook, I'm the Fatboy. SoundCloud, I'm the Fatboy. Threads, I'm the Fatboy. Instagram, I'm the Fatboy. Twitter, I'm the Fatboy. You know, I'm the Fatboy. People make the mistake of going, I am the Fatboy. No, I'm like the contraction. I'm the Fatboy. All one word. No periods, apostrophes, none of that. Yeah, you can. I'm trying to make it so easy, but it's. I'm finding where there's some hangups. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to. I'm the Fatboy. I think it's my little tag down there. I don't know. Yeah, my little.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
See, and that's another thing. And I know I said I got to run, but young artists, please, I hope y'all paying attention. I'm the Fatboy everywhere. It's not a matter of I'm the Fatboy over here and I'm John J. Jingleheimer Smiths over here and I'm Krispy Kreme Donuts over here. No, it's all the same because it's easy for you to find me no matter where you go. That I hope y'all are paying attention. This is independent grind hustle game 101. Pay close attention, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure y'all go run his numbers up on everywhere, but fuck all that streaming shit. Go to Bandcamp and support this brother. You understand what I'm saying? If y'all fuck with me and y'all understand I don't deal with nothing but the dope, I ain't gonna tell you nothing that ain't real. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fat. I appreciate you, bro. Salute to the guys over at Pantha Politix Podcast, Monster Listening P7. Salute to my brothers over at All Purpose, Evan Almighty, and Phantom. Make sure y'all tune in for Monday Night Live every Monday for that sports shit. Pantha Politix every Thursday. Man, we got a lot of dope stuff coming down the pipeline. Of course, this is Side Barz. Before we get out of here, I got one last thing. And I think I might have said something about this in the email. And I know time and all that, but fuck all that. Let me hear something, man. Let me get something. You got like a 16. You got like a 16, 24 or something. You can give us real quick before we get out of here.
What I got, man? What I got? I'm on the spot.
I'm a troublemaker. All the way live. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want y'all to realize what's happening right now. Y'all think rappers can just say stuff that they know off the top of their head at any moment. No, we can't.
Right.
No, we can't. Sometimes we got to think about it. Like, what?
You did mention in the email. I should have been ready. I remember being 15, notebook in the pen. Even then, my rhymes was fresher than some dentine. I knew that I could win. I was the fat kid. take one for the team. Now I'm focused on my back end, trying to live this dream. You need to tap in. Favorite color green. I'm a Capricorn, all about my business. Ain't got time for all the back and forth. I remember putting CDs in the Walmart deck, pushing Courtney Cox Arquette, that white girl. Welcome to my world, my neck of the woods. I grew up but screw up. They never knew us. We made good. We stayed good. We lived fast and was lucky we ain't die young. Turning try into triumph. Pay dues, taking my lumps. Hey dudes, while she rocking pumps. I can't lose if I don't give it up. You can't bruise an ego that just don't give a fuck. Yeah, something like that.
Man, y'all better act like y'all know, man. It ain't nothing but barbarian pen savages over here, dog. Salute to my man Fat, man. Salute to the whole hip hop, man. North Carolina, I love y'all. We'll catch y'all next time, family. Peace.
I don't cheese for the cam, nigga. If you smile on the gram, they caught me slipping. I'm that nigga. Right? Fame for the young, just cut the check. Let me rap, nigga. Rap, nigga. Gravitas, now I'm a traveling smack dealer. Get all Jenny Lamb butcher. This is like the confessional of the lyrical.